I'm ChosenArchitect, and I present to you ProjectE 2. It's finally time. I can show you this mod pack that I have been working on for the last few weeks. And this is called ProjectE 2. Yes, it is a sequel to the original ProjectE, which I released several years ago, it feels like now. But if you're looking to download this mod pack and you want to try it out for yourself, you can of course find it on CurseForge. All you have to do is simply search ChosenArchitect and it should show up in that list. That's one of the easiest ways to find it as of right now. Now, before we get to exploring all of the awesome stuff that you see around me, let me talk about the premise of the mod pack. So the idea around this mod pack is to be built around ProjectE and EMC, and also EMC production, with the idea that a lot of the raw resources are the only thing that actually have EMC, and very strategically set up in a way to make automation a primary focus of the pack. I essentially want you to find cool ways to automate EMC and to use that to generate resources for the ultimate in-game, which yes, there is an in-game here, and the actual goal is to duplicate EMC with automations. Yes, it's going to be pretty cool. There's custom blocks and all kinds of other fun things. And to also mention, there are quests. So there are a plethora of quests in here, and you can explore all of these, and we're going to explore all of these in our own adventure. But notice the EMC mastery section. That's right. We have full custom blocks that we made specifically for automating EMC. And it's going to be a huge task, which will ultimately lead you into creative items. So I look forward to seeing some awesome things that you guys create. And if you're willing to share those, you can of course share them over on the Discord. We have an amazing community that I would love for you to join. All you got to do is go to discord.gg/ChosenArchitect and join the amazing crew today. I really do appreciate you guys, especially whenever you share awesome builds. Now, if you're also interested in how this mod pack was made, I did upload the entirety of the process where we did stream over on Twitch, and all of it is here on the main channel. I'll have a link to that playlist linked down in the description below if you're interested in how to make mod packs for yourself. Now, this is for those of you who want to play in this same world. I am going to go ahead and give you the seed, and this right here is the world seed. I will also have it linked down in the description below, so if you just want to copy it from there, and you can generate this exact seed that we are currently in. And this will allow you to start just like this. And I just started, I spawned out just right over there. Now this seed is amazing, as I just got off of the pirate ship. Oh man, our entire caravan made it all the way here, and we decided to set up shop. Ah, yes, the villages. These villages are amazing from the integrated villager mod, and it's going to be a great way to get started because we're going to have the ability to gain all of these resources early on, which are going to help us in our journey in getting started with this mod pack. So first things first, collect the resources out of the chest as much as we can and equip some of these goodies. Now, something cool that we can do is we can actually place our transmutation tablet that we get, by the way, right at the start, and we can start emptying items from our inventory in here. But notice not everything has EMC values, including nuggets and also ingots. And that's for a reason. I want there to be some reason to actually process certain materials. And that's the whole idea around this particular setup. Now, when it comes to things like planks, stairs, and also slabs and fences and stuff like that, those are all products of a log. And so the idea was to simply have the log in here so you can automate it later, and then still have a reason to craft and auto-craft all of these items. And that will also help you not clutter up your transmutation table, which can happen very fast if everything in a mod pack has an EMC value. Speaking of this table, I did customize this table a little bit. It does emit light, so you can use it like a torch whenever you go mining early on, and you don't have to have a tool to break it, and it is now incredibly fast to break. So yeah, that's a pretty cool little addition, which will allow us to early game make all kinds of goodies and be able to portably bring this around with us, while also kind of allowing us to have a reason to craft a tablet version of this later on. Now, these structures, by the way, that you may see here, they are going to be completely filled with supplementaries, create, and all kinds of cool things. So I definitely recommend, if you find these, looting them. There's going to be a ton of awesome resources in them, and I'm definitely going to take advantage of this. There are tons of create blocks, but right now we're going to worry about collecting a little bit of EMC, which is the value that you see in the top left, and every item that I put inside of here that has an EMC value allows me to pull something else out based on its value, essentially exchanging it. Just for those of you who don't actually know what EMC means. Another awesome thing that's in this pack is waystones. That's right, we now have a way to move about from one location to another. I do also have the FTB essentials in here, so you can set home, you can also do /back if you die, and so on and so forth. There's even RTP, with the cooldowns, of course. Now, I think early on, villagers are definitely going to be the play. It's definitely going to be worthwhile to grab as many villagers as I possibly can from this village as I continue to move on. And that's because while emeralds do not have EMC, we can actually use villagers still to automate EMC productions in some ways, at least small amounts. Now, I will say there are several different types of these villages, and it's going to be pretty fun to explore them all. And there's probably some hidden secrets that I haven't even found yet. Like this, for example. There's a bunny in a cage that is attached to a create contraption that is 100% functional. And yes, these can spawn in with fully functional create mechanics built in that are actually running, which is just wild. Now I need to step away from the village for a moment because we want to complete our quests. So jumping into our quest book, we can go ahead and start with the Welcome to ProjectArchitect 2, which is auto-completed whenever you join into your world and is what actually gives you your starting items. But it wants us to go ahead and mine some wood, and it talks about the abilities that we have, which is the ability to climb and cling to walls, which is a very cool mechanic. If you hold down shift and press forward, you can actually climb, which is a nice early game way of getting around, giving you some nice parkour abilities. Now there's also some custom spider kind of AI that is in this pack. And so if that's something you do not want, you can actually just remove that mod from the pack and it won't affect you on servers or anything like that. It just prevents these spiders from being able to cling to walls and being able to move. I thought it was a pretty cool thing to add, but I did wanted to mention that if you do have arachnophobia in any way, it will probably be best for you to disable that. And we also have dynamic lights, which is pretty cool, and you can use this quest to toggle them on and off. And what this is going to allow us to do, if I go ahead and toggle this on, it's going to allow us to hold a torch and to be able to illuminate the blocks around us. Now on to actually getting started and punching some logs, which is what you're probably going to experience your first time jumping into here. And I'm going to actually vein mine the entire tree because we have ore excavation. Ah, yes, we have the ability to vein mine. And so the way you access this is through your grave key, which is directly under your escape key on most keyboards and is the default key. Now, this is what's really going to allow us to progress. So I can then learn those logs and I now have all kinds of features available. So let's go ahead and pull out some logs. I'm going to pull this out. We can also convert our twigs into actual sticks, and then we can actually learn the sticks as well, which is very, very helpful. So what I need to do is I need to craft my first crafting table. But we actually don't need to place it in the world. We can immediately convert it into a crafting table and a stick. And so this can go into your charm slot over here for your crafting table and a stick. And you can go into your options and into controls and keys. And you can look for crafting on a stick. And you can set this to any key. I like to set mine to Control E. You can set it to F. F is also a very nice key. But whatever you have it set to, whenever you activate that, it is then going to open up your grid, allowing you to always have a grid on you. Now, there's nothing like crafting the first set of tools and getting access to a bit of stone. So I can use this to vein mine, and now we have cobblestone in which we can also pull out of our table. If your inventory ever gets a little bit cluttered, you can always open up your trash can, and anything you put in here will get deleted whenever you close out of this. Now, with it being dark, one of the cool things, like I said, about this table is it works as a light source. So whenever you do place it down, you can get yourself a little bit of light, which is so nice. But we just got ourselves some coal, which should allow us to now craft a few torches. So with our sticks, let's go ahead and get that done. So I'm going to craft this up And now when I hold this in my hand, we now have ourselves some dynamic lighting, which is very, very nice. Now, you know what? I think for now, I'm going to return these villagers back from whence they came. I can't handle them in my inventory making noises. Not until I get a backpack. Once I get that going, then we should be good. Wow, notice that they got a water wheel set up here? Like ready to go? For milling. This is wild. So now that I have some starter tools, I think it's time to take a boat out and, well, start exploring a bit more. I want to be able to locate a nice starting area, and having this huge ocean makes it really, really nice to be able to discover new areas. And not to mention, there might be some structures out here to loot. For example, there's a couple of fish, and these vanilla structures, these ships that are down here, could contain some incredibly valuable loot. Definitely worth grabbing if you can. You know, you might be a little risky to do this, but yeah, all in all, you might even discover some diamond. I know I'm definitely going after this, and let's see, we might even find ourselves a treasure map early on. Yes, a buried treasure map ready to go. Ooh, and some books. That is just some nice stuff to have. By the way, this can be placed underwater, so yes, you can actually start learning all of these EMCable items. Almost forgot, there is one more chest, but it is very risky, and it did contain diamonds. Oh, that is so nice. Yes, this is probably one of the best structures to be able to find diamonds early game. So we can go ahead and start to learn all of these things, but notice the ingots, like I said, they don't have EMC, so you are still going to need a backpack whenever you go out exploring and looting. But I definitely want to go ahead and use this and see if we can't locate where this treasure is buried. It looks like it's a little ways up here towards the north. So it's going to be on this big sandbar, I believe. Now, by hitting the F3 menu, we should be able to locate our block section, and we need to find in that chunk bound, it should say 99. This should be where the chest resides, and of course, it does. Oh, and there's so many goodies in here. Oh, that's so nice. Now, something that you're probably going to do is, well, accidentally leave or lose your table. Now, if you do that, it is going to be a little challenging to get your table back. Just make sure you keep up with it a little bit better than I did. I accidentally left it over here. Yeah, I'm glad I remembered that, though. But I'm going to go ahead and toss this stuff in. It's probably best to make one of these as soon as you can, but it is going to require you to go back through the nether. Now, while it may seem like we are gaining a ton of EMC early on, I can promise you these numbers are so minuscule compared to what we're actually going to need for the end game. And not to mention that the EMC that you gain here is not really going to help you for the end game. You're still going to have to do all of the automation tasks, and that was the idea. I really want you guys to come up with some really cool and fun ways to automate EMC. I just found another ship, and these are really great to find. They are some really nice starting EMC for sure. Now this area looks pretty cool. Oh, we're gonna have to fight our way through here. Hey, quit. There we go. We must have some gravity on our gear. Oh, that is really rough. Yes, we have 25% gravity, which feels very weird. Whenever you do find custom armor like that from Apotheosis, it is going to be a little bit challenging. But some may like that effect. Now, I don't want to spend my time adventuring on foot. No. I have plenty of better tools that will help me in this process. And that is going to require a little bit of slime. But I think we should be able to find some flowers to be able to help us make our first slime. And we did find some dough in the supplementaries building. So, back in that village, I think Cyclic actually offers a flower, if I remember correctly, that does give us slime dye. Aha! And I think I have spotted off in the distance one of those flowers. Right there. It is so far away. But that flower right there should give us the ability to be able to leap through our world, which is going to be so nice. Also, by the way, with these pebbles that you find, don't forget to skip them. Yes, you can skip them in water. It's so cool. Now, can't you tell I'm pretty excited for this playthrough? There's a lot of cool things that I've added in here that I just love. For example, the climbing mod and also this slime sling mod, which is going to be amazing. By the way, let's go ahead and add some of these new finds in here. For example, that lime flower. We should be able to take this out. And now I can create some lime dye. And if we combine that with this, we get ourselves a slime ball from the create recipe. So if you're looking for slime, bam, one of the easiest ways to possibly get it. That is if you can get your hands on some of this dough from one of those villagers. Now I'm also going to need some string in order to get this started. So I should be able to grow some flax, which I did find laying around. And flax offers us some string. So we just craft that together and voila, we now have ourselves some string. And by the way, if you put an item in this middle slot right here, it allows you to then automatically select it up in the top, which is a nice little way to filter out your table. It'll also only show then things with lower EMC values than it around the rest of it. So now I should be able to craft myself some slime boots and a slime sling. Oh boy, and here we are, ready to do the whole Tinker's Construct thing, which I so miss from the 1.12 version of Minecraft. Now, by equipping our slime boots and utilizing our slime sling, we can then hold this down and then jump and right-click, or sorry, just right-click, right? And it launches us through the air. Oh, that is fantastic. Speaking of fantastic, I should probably grab some of the cows. I'm so sorry. But I really need some of the leather as I want to get myself my first backpack made. With our newfound string, there we go, a sophisticated backpack. Ah, it's gonna be so nice. And we have, I think, all of the stuff to be able to upgrade it to at least gold tier, which is gonna be very nice. Now, I haven't mentioned our quests yet, but we do actually get random rewards from our quests. For example, I just got bone from that one, and these rewards can be very nice. Like I just got an enchanted golden apple from that one, but there's a ton of different things and they're all almost 50-50 chance of getting anything from that list. And there is some really cool things that can really change up your gameplay experience depending on what you actually get here. Very reminiscent, in my opinion, of the quest rewards from Stone Block 2. I at least tried my best anyways. So now after equipping my backpack, we should be able to open that up by hitting B, and I can now start to sort away all of our looted goods. Another simple thing to go along with our slime sling is probably going to be a glider. And yes, we can make 2 of these wings, and then we combine this to make a simple hang glider. And so with all of that in place, I think we're now ready to go exploring a bit more. So I should be able to launch myself up and then grab my hang glider and we can start to glide through the air, allowing us a lot easier way of traveling around the world early game. Just now, don't forget that our slime boots will protect us from fall damage, and they also have a really nice acceleration effect, which is definitely perfect for getting some nice speed on our glider. Ooh, just over the horizon. This is another type of village. A lot of the villages are going to be like this one right here. They can also be very normal, and they can also be in that epic size that we started with. And there's going to be some really good loot to be found here because there's additional villagers in here that are different than the vanilla ones. And we do want to learn all of the wood that I just found. By the way, wood is very interesting, and I recommend collecting them all, just like Pokemon. But yes, this village is going to offer us a bit more resources. For example, like all of this raw meat, and you should be able to break this stuff, by the way, and be able to actually collect these resources. But we need to find these special villagers. Like this one right here. It has a garden table, and these villagers are going to offer all kinds of interesting things. Like, for example, we can get honeycombs right away. And there we go. There's an EMC-able thing that we can actually gather from these villagers. And automation with these guys is something that I actually recommend trying out. Inside of this village up top, there's an entire block of redstone and redstone components. Definitely worth grabbing those. This village actually happens to contain a beehive, which is something that we can actually use to get into the Bumble Zone dimension, which is another great way to generate a ton of EMC. However, not all of this pack is actually about generating EMC, because inside of our quest line, underneath the adventure bound, you're going to be required to do a ton of adventuring-based tasks in order to even get into the EMC automation age. And I so look forward to being able to explore and doing all of those tasks with you guys. It's gonna be so much fun. There's gotta be some good loot around here somewhere. Ooh, there's some dried kelp and paper. I'm not really interested in that. Definitely map stuff. Ooh, prismarine crystals. This guy has definitely done some exploring and some blank maps. Ooh, and sea pickles. There's even some mushrooms through here. And looky here in Archer's home for sure. I tell you, the bigger and more intricate these villages get, it feels really intrusive just walking in on a villager family just casually. Yeah. Ooh, but here we go. These guys are worth definitely interacting with. There's an ender pearl in that frame. Can I sneak in here, sir? You fine, sir? I don't want to punch him. I could, you know, I could yoink him. That ender pearl is super worth to me. I need it. I need it. It'll be as if it never even happened. Yeah, he won't even know. I'm gonna place him right back down. And there we go. This villager even has some nether quartz. Villagers are so powerful. Now, I think with this village, I'm actually going to steal their waystone because these have EMC values and glowstone directly underneath them. So we should be able to now create our own waystones anytime we need. And we now have access to some glowstone. Exploring early on is 100% incentivized. It is so worth doing this. And not to mention, there might be little structures like this that offer some cool things. Ooh, and a chest down here, surprisingly. Surely this isn't trapped. Oh goodness, it gives us some name tags and some more prismarine I will definitely take. Now getting out of here, this is where that climbing mod comes into play. It is so nice to be able to crawl out of areas. Now I know we got carried away and I haven't even really mined anything, but raw material does have EMC. So you can actually use this to pull out the raw material, but you do have to smelt it or process it in some way. And that was one of the key things that I'm super excited to be able to do in the future. It's going to be so much fun to automate all of this stuff. Now, after a bit of exploring, I decided to head all the way back. So this was our original village right here, but I decided to go actually back this way after uncovering this massive area here. Didn't really care for anything that I found there, but I really like this little area that we're in right here. And I don't think it gets any better than this. There's already a bridge that connects the landmass over here. And this is a nice separated area. There's even a bridge on the other side. This is actually calling my name right now for building. I think this project is going to take quite a bit of time to clear out. And it looks like there's also a mine shaft under us, but it's going to take a little bit of time to clear out. But all of this is EMC. So it's going to be well worth it. Now, to live here, it just requires a little bit of forest thinning. Yeah, just a teensy bit. Now, I do want to get started on our first little starter house, and this is going to be a place where we hold our items and allow us to sort of smelt to get started. And I want to make a cute little sort of village hut. And so the idea is to kind of go into the center of this area I just cleared out, and I want a 9 long area, which means on the outside I need 2 extra block spacings. So block here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, which should give us an 11 long sort of building. And this will be easy to sort of handle. And on the interior, this is going to have a 5 block interior space, which means we need to go out 1 on each side here to make sure the interior space is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the base, I want to start building this out like so, just kind of connecting this throughout. And just completing the rectangle. Now, a super useful tool that we can use, which is one of my favorite tools, is a trowel for this building adventure here. So I just want to set some blocks. For example, I want cobblestone, andesite, and I want some of this mossy cobble to be included into this build. And then I just need to have my trowel handy, and I want to build this up 6 blocks. So I think from this location here, we're going to go up 6 blocks. So 1, and then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And what this does is it's going to randomize the blocks that are in our hotbar, and that is going to allow us to get a little bit more diversity in our build. Of course, we can always go back and kind of replace things that need to be replaced. Now, after going up 6 high, I am then going to start to build out the peak of this building, just like so. Now, as far as the front of this building goes, I am actually going to punch out a little space right here for a window. It's going to be a nice little window that's right here. And then as far as the door goes, just a simple little entryway like right here. And how nice of this guy to drop by and offer some leads. Very nice. I'll take advantage of that. Now, as far as the roof goes, I do want to incorporate some cobblestone into this. And so we're going to have like bits and pieces, kind of like so, on the edges. And I think this is going to give it a little bit of an interesting vibe. But the rest of this build, I actually want to utilize walnut in a couple of different forms. We have a couple of different building mods in here, and structure blocks or framed blocks is one of those. It's going to be very interesting for us to use. And so the rest of this, I think I'm going to use this. And then I also want to incorporate, like I said, some mixed materials. For example, maybe even utilizing some stripped versions of this log. And I think also including some mixed foliage, for example, adding some moss blocks up here will make this really stand out. And then for the face, I want to start getting in some trapdoors. So I'm using some spruce trapdoors here to kind of change up the texture a little bit. And this is going to be sort of like the overhang that goes on the outside like this. I'm also going to use a mix of jasper and dirt to sort of fill in this area here and give us a nice little path, hopefully, to that that little walkway. As I was just about to set up this post, Gerald the duck showed up. Hi, little buddy. And is quacking along. All right, so I was thinking about adding the posts, like for example, right over here. And these are super nice from the cork mod. These spruce posts give a whole lot of detail to this build. And so yet again, over here, just holding up that top section. Now, I do want to add a couple of shutters, and an interesting way that we can do shutters is by placing some blocks like this, using some trapdoors, and then breaking these blocks. And then we can add some signs on the outside like this. And of course, signs do go a long way. And once this is all fully done, it kind of looks like an interesting little shutter. Now for the interior of the window, we're actually going to utilize sticks. This is pretty interesting because we should, I think, be able to cross them. Yeah, we 100% can cross them. All we have to do is just click on the outer side like this. And now we have this hashed window. Oh, it looks so sick. And then for some final touches, of course, we're going to need ourselves a door. And this build is starting to look really good. And I think for some interior work, I can go ahead and add some trapdoors on the sides of these chests. And by the way, these are from cork, and you can craft them with the planks. This is going to look very, very nice. And it almost feels like once this is all set up, like this is one big cabinet. We just put a log in between here. So now for a starting base, I think this is definitely overkill. But it definitely fits my style. I really, really enjoy at least having some place to call home. And it just sometimes doesn't feel right whenever you just overtake another building. And with all of these cool things that we can just simply pull out of our transmutation table, building has never been simpler. So there is now no reason to not dabble into all of these cool building mods. Now, if you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to click that subscribe button if you haven't already, and well, give this video, of course, a huge thumbs up. Also, comment down below, what are you most looking forward to in your own playthrough of Project Architect? I would love to hear from you down in those comments below. Now, also be sure to join the Discord. You can, of course, find that linked down in the description below as well. And with that being said, it's now time for me to thank the amazing supporter of today's episode. And that amazing thanks is going to go out to TOMF or Tom. Thank you so much for your amazing support by choosing to support me over on the Discord by becoming a Discord premium member and supporting me in one of the best ways possible. You guys make this content very, very possible. And without you, I don't know what I would do. Anyways, thank you guys so much. I'll see you in the next one. And as always, thanks for watching. Bye!